Three big storylines here with the all-new Mazda CX-6e. First of all, stunning exterior and interior will be super unique. Then this one here is, so to speak, an electric Mazda CX-5, and can it convince CX-5 combustion engine customers to go electric with this one here? And of course, the third big storyline, this is essentially a hot competitor to the Tesla Model Y. Starting at 50,000 euros and almost all in. This is the optional trim, but there won't be such a price difference. And we're going through all the details you need to know in exterior and interior, and how good is it and can it convince the Mazda customers, but also new customers. We're going to find out with Thomas Nautogefühl in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go. The Mazda CX-6e in the front. A very striking design here with a light integration like this. So they take this Mazda wing design, so to speak, in the light signature. This is also where the air is being channeled through, so a more dramatic top layer here. Then here we have a strong purple color. This one here is called Nightfall Violet. So yeah, Leah would love it probably, I guess, and especially because they have a fitting interior for you today. However, you can also go for more subtle colors. The length here is 4 meters 85 or 191 inches. This is also the SUV brother to the Mazda 6e, the sedan, like really flat electric sedan. This one now the SUV, 19 to 21 inch wheels. These are the 21-inch wheels. You can select it in the base trim, but you can also have it standard and here in this top trim, base trim called Takumi, and this one here is Takumi Plus. And then you can see here this rather coupe shape for the SUV. Here another aerodynamic thing is that you have like this inlet right here. This makes a very cool design on the exterior, yet again channels the air through here. So that's very interesting. It's rear-wheel drive always, 258 horsepower. They don't go for, let's make even more performance, 7.9 seconds in the acceleration figure. So it's not a performance SUV. So in performance, it could not catch up with the Tesla Model Y, but that is not their focus. They say they rather want to be like, you know, price performance winner and efficient and relaxing in the drive and so on. Then here the rear, you have two light signatures here, left and right, so they don't make this light strip that goes all the way through. Mazda lettering, and interesting here already, the Porsche Macan style opener here for the trunk. Takes some while for the electric hatch. Soon I'll give you all the trunk deals, but this of course, nice access to the trunk already. Black contrast in the lower part, and you also saw the black contrast here on the roof on the top part. And this is a very daring color indeed. And as I said, but you can also get like normal black, white and red and so on. And I'll also give you some more deals on the interior colors very soon. Let's move over to the front because it's very exciting. I'm going to pull it twice here from the interior. And during that, I can tell you more about the battery, because battery will be 78 kilowatt hours gross. Since they usually have a buffer of about 5%, we can calculate with some 74 kilowatt hours net. And this will be an LFP battery. So it's a little bit larger LFP battery than you get with the Mazda 6e with the sedan. The real world calculated range, I always give like low estimations, because I think, wait a minute, when you go in city driving only, then you can score the official figures. However, if you go really like motorway, 130 kilometers an hour, maybe some cold temperatures, I would rather take this one maybe like 350 kilometers, 220 miles, like for a realistic, decent speed motorway. And then here, the front is actually quite spacious, and like the Mazda 6e, it gets this here, this additional bag inside. This is a very practical thing, has like this Mazda embossed on the inside. And I always say, like, if we forget some grocery bags or something like that, in German we say the Jutebeutel, like these, you know, like these cotton bags, which are very sustainable because you use them over and over again and so on. If you forget them, you can just go like to your shops and like, fill up my Mazda bag, guys. Then you can put it back in the front. But this one's actually quite spacious, you know. And underneath, here you have even more to put, and this looks like some rinse holes left and right. You can maybe also put like some ice there or like water sports equipment. So practical solution indeed. Since this one is here like a first hand-built one-off model, the very first one that is built, they told me I should be like very gentle with the front hood as well and close it in a two-step way like this. So there we go. Yeah, it's not the easiest to close it here because you have this this aerodynamic overlap here. So I think from the exterior it's really stunning already. What do you think? Tell me in the comments. As I said, this one here, the optional trim level, but it won't be so far away from the base trim. 50,000 euros for the base entry, and I would say like maybe this one 53, 54, something like that. So it's very well priced in the market considering battery size and what it offers and so on. Oh, by the way, here, when we now get to the interior, these are the digital mirrors. They are connected to the top trim level. And that's maybe also a reason why I would not go for this top trim, because they might look fancy on the exterior. They might be a little bit more aerodynamic, but it's not the biggest difference. And then on the interior, you will then have these digital mirrors. And I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'll soon show you why again. First of all, the doors. Here, these handles, they're open and come towards you. Otherwise, they're flush integrated. But then they're at least have like a physical haptic experience. So that's actually quite good. Then also difference to the Mazda 6e to the sedan is that here you have laminated glass in the front. And actually the Mazda 6e sedan was quite silent on the motorway at high speeds. And this one in here with the laminated glass in the front, the rear does not have it, should be maybe even better. Then again, it's an SUV, stands more against the wind. Yeah, we have to see about that. This one is this two-tone scheme interior with purple and white. And yeah, this looks really stunning. Is connected to the top trim level. And some might love it. Leah would surely love it when I show that to her. So she has some holiday today. So Jonas is filming for us. Yeah, but probably most customers, they will say, that's maybe over the top or something, but no problem. You just stay with the base trim level, save a couple of €1,000, and then you either have like black or a bright scheme. And they are also very beautiful. Inside of the doors, you in this case have this expressive white, but it's, like really soft here already inside of the doors. Also, this top part is a little bit softened up. This would be like the first monitor then, from the camera right there. And the problem is always this is a 2D focus when you sit there, whereas a classic mirror looking in there is a long focus. This is always short focus. That's hard to switch then between long and short focus. And then here, soft touch leatherette at the inside of the door. And then here also for your elbow, window levers, classic 4, and feels also quite nice. However, here, this is like the button for the door opener, and the manual one is here in the lower part. You have to know that it's there, and then you can actually like press it in there, release it, and then you have this manual release. I think it's just important to know that. In most cases you will not use it, but so that you just know where to find it. Here, this one is actually nicely structured. It's not very soft though, but at least you have some structure on the inside. But yeah, actually it feels better than it would be just pure hard plastic from the first impression. Then the steering wheel is flat bottom. You have a mix also of real buttons still, so that they are like here for the 360-degree camera, click here, or here some hotkeys. You can set some favorite functions to. Animal-free material, two-tone scheme. As I said, more subtle in the lower part, in the low trim version, but here also very soft from material. And look at these seats. This is, considering that these seats will look the same, just in a different color in the base scheme. This is base trim. You get 50,000 euros in Europe. Perforated leatherette, high grade, really soft. Then here also in the top part, this is really luxury quality. I just have to applaud them on that actually. And yeah. This is really cool and it looks really plush, but is it also as comfortable as it suggests? Let's take a seat. Young Skywalker. And then, yeah, it's really comfortable. And you have this upright seating position here. The 6E seats are already comfortable. Here in the CX-6E, even more upright. They are also wider a little bit. So this is, great luxury experience. Wow, I'm quite impressed actually. Steering wheel up and down, in and out. So you can also find a good position. Then you have also new store columns. That looks almost Bentley-like with some metal knurling here also at the store column. And the right one is not this typical Mercedes parts bin anymore. It looks a little bit like it, but has also been like refined. So that makes a good impression. You might think first now, wait a minute, where are the digital instruments? There are none indeed. And I'm a little bit skeptic about that. That's also what I criticize about Tesla. So you only have like the speed up there. So I always tell like then to Tesla, give us digital instruments or at least a head-up display. And what they did here is, they said we have this huge screen, so more to that, but we don't do instruments. However, we do the head-up display. This is the big box here, and then I do already see like at least a P symbol from the head-up display now in park mode. So they will have an extensive head-up display, and I think this is something you can at least work with, that you can say, I control everything infotainment-wise here, but then when I drive, I just look at the head-up display, I have the speed in my line of sight and also in the long focus. That's what I'm saying also here with the digital mirrors. Long focus is important while driving, and if you then have bifocal glasses, even more important indeed. The mirror here is, by the way, either normal or digital. You can switch it between camera view and normal mirror. Yeah, and I think now it's time to take a detailed look here in, with this huge screen in the interior, but I honestly have to say, this is really luxury interior for a non-luxury price. And now here, 26-inch 5K resolution. At the moment, there's a demo mode running. They can see some functions. The climate unit will be here, like warmer and colder. Also here for the seat heating. So this is not the old Mazda philosophy where you have like real physical dials and so on. Everything is then here in the screen and also heading towards the passenger and so on. I mean, this is almost like a cinema, basically. Speed will be in the top left here in the Tesla philosophy, but as I said, you will also have it then in the head-up display. Then here on the top dash here, this is also nice in the structure, not too soft, but I think that's fine. You also have some ambient lighting integration here, and then once again, this high-grade leather on the dash. You will also have these visualizations here that you can also, for example, apply the sunshade. And the thing is, I know something of the infotainment already from the 6e, and the thing is, it is actually pretty quick. What they have not mastered with the 6e yet is like the integration of assistance systems. They insist was a little bit, annoying, something like that, and how to turn off some of the stuff that annoys you. That is, I expect them to be able that they maybe deactivate it on the hotkeys and so on. That would be cool for this one. So we're looking forward to which final software version they will then present to us very soon. But visually, definitely stunning. Then let's take a look here. There's the glove box with a button, also falls down gently. Also nice fabric covering from the inside. Then this middle console here in the lower part, you have a lot of space together with USB-C charging and USB-A connector. This is the split basically. On the top part, you also have this luxury design. We have left side inductive charging pad, which with cooling also, and right side just some space. And then here, even the cup holders are hidden if you want so, and then 4-dot design. I guess this should not be like the final material quality on the inside. And then you can just hide them again. Then also very soft here for your elbow. And then you can open this one with a lot of space on the inside, huge space. And you can also activate cooling in there. Yeah, I really have to say this is excellent build. If you would present, like this is the new Bentley SUV or something, that you would say, yeah, it is. So this is excellent. And not everyone will agree to the color scheme here of the seats, right? These one, by the way, also perfect because you also have Bluetooth speakers in here. If you want maybe like a music source, or maybe like an audiobook, whereas the kids listen to something else just for your ears, that would be possible. Not everyone will agree to this color scheme, but we took a look at the black seat, for example, or the just bright seat, unicolor. It's also totally fine if you want that. And then ISOFIX already at the front seat. And once again, you can see this plush design also here in the area of the sit bones and so on. I see maybe a Christmas, like maybe late Christmas gift for Leah coming up. Another one maybe. Yeah. And it's actually also quite spacious, like how it's, you're feeling quite well housed in. The placement here of the digital mirrors is a good placement, yeah. But once again, it's the focus issue. That's just the human body. You can't actually get around it. Headroom here to the front like this, 189, 6'2". This is still okay. And this is the glass roof is standard. And what's also standard, I can't activate it now because the infotainment system is basically just in demo mode. There's also a shade, electric shade. You can see the end of the electric shade. It goes all the way through the glass roof, and then you can completely close this shade also as an additional measure against the sun, if you like. Door closing sound, not to forget that. Wow. Actually also in here, like the panel gaps are really nicely done. So it's hard to do good door closing sound when you have frameless doors. That sounds really nice. And then here, AC charging 11 kilowatts and DC charging is 165 kilowatts maximum peak. So that is then 24 minutes, 10 to 80% state of charge. So it's actually also decent then with the charging with this LFP battery. Yeah, and what's still missing, we have the rear seats and the trunk, but I can already say, I mean, looks stunning, exterior and interior. The only thing will probably be that it's not like the super long haul range SUV if you maybe compare it to a BMW iX3 or Mercedes GLC EQ. However, here then you also pay like 30,000–40,000 euros less. Let's now check out the rear seats. Actually, I can open the door for Jonas. Here, please, Jonas. You can take an exclusive first look before I enter. And they continue with this color scheme. It's also very spacious here from the doors on the inside. Then you also have nice soft touch at the inside of the doors there. Headroom to the side with 189/62 is close. Then a little bit wider to this glass roof. But it's really a luxury atmosphere. The middle part here. Put this one down, Lipston adaptive lips for the drinks and so on, and even floor. Then you have a climate unit, and you even have seat cooling and seat heating for the rear seats in the Takumi Plus. So, and I can also move the passenger seat forward here remotely from the rear. That's also cool. Yeah, these are not working at the moment yet because the car's in this showroom mode. But this is then the difference. So from the base, you would have front seat, heated and cooled. And in the Takumi Plus, the option trim, you also have the rear seats heated and cooled. And yeah, where else do we have that? For this kind of price, it starts to get scary now. Look at that here, Mazda embossed here also at the back part of the seat. So even if we compare it to the Mazda 6e, to the sedan, this is again like one level above that. And this one here is only starting 5,000 euros above the Mazda 6e and has a little bit bigger battery. So yeah, kinda impressed with that. As for the movement of the back seats, so yeah, the release with this like pressing in button is not the ideal one. And here, see here, no cargo position or something like that. It's just like folding or fixed, that's it. Isofix in the rear. And let's see these clips here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, they actually, they fold up. It's interesting. So in the 6e, they also fly around, but these ones fold up. This is probably the first time someone removed them like this. So there we go. And that's on the outside parts each. So this has better seating comfort than luxury sedan, honestly. And by the way, if you have not seen it here, the legroom, when I'm driving here, like so much legroom due to the more upright seating position. And by the way, this electric shade I can also activate from the rear. So there we go with this electric shade. If it's like a really hot summer day, then you can also have that one closed to have even more climate comfort. There we go. And at the same time, we can also maybe move this passenger seat all the way to the front, and I can show that to you how we have like this like super chauffeur position. Also open the roof again. So yeah, this is even more space, of course, on demand. Now to the trunk or the boot, which is at 470 liters, and we have it here like in the Porsche Macan style with this button right here, quite wide in the lower part. Then we have this cover here. It's also rails left and right. This one, yeah, barely fits underneath, but it still works with the cabin trolley here. Then we have here about a little, yeah, maybe exactly 1.40 meters in width. Then also almost 1.40 meters in length. And the typical height here is 28 inches or 70 centimeters. So actually good dimensions. 470 liters is here. And then you can also remove this one to show you, like, you can actually reach it over from here. There's no remote unlock. And this, yeah, as I said, like this pressing in buttons here are not my favorite ones. Let's take it that way. Also here, you have to, you know, put them a little bit down there. That's more beautiful with the fabric. That's maybe the only weaker part of the interior quality. And then here, the loading through length, this is here 73 inches or 1.85 meters. So very well usable vehicle. Underneath here, this small cover, by the way, there we go. There's not too much space left, so the charging cable would be rather than in the front than in the trunk. Yeah, I would really say that this one here ticks a lot of boxes. Indeed, also literally boxes in the trunk. And yeah, you see where this is going. And now you might wonder, how can they offer this vehicle at that price? This is possible due to a joint venture with Changan Automotive, Chinese car manufacturer. They did the same with the Mazda 6e, and they have the Deepal brand there in China and selling, let's say, like a similar car. However, the Mazda engineers and also designers, they made the Mazda design, exterior and interior unique, and also suspension setup, the steering setup, also how the brake feel is. And they want to achieve by that, because we're here, by the way, in the Research and Development Center of Mazda Europe. It's in Oberursel in Germany. And that's why they're also in Germany here, taking the German Autobahn, so that they say we want to make the car that it feels right for the European customer. So that's what they actually do here on location. And that is also how it's supposed to work. Yes, they take the Chinese platform. They have good economies of scale and the cheap labor costs and cheap production costs from the Chinese market, and then adapt this platform basically to the European market. This is their first step with the Mazda 6e, and here with the CX-6e, which is sold as EZ60 in China. By the way, there it's actually also on sale as the Mazda. That's also very interesting. And the next step then, from 2028, will be an own dedicated developed Mazda electric platform. What else is missing? You get the V2L adapter, 3.5 kilowatt charging lane of exterior devices, towing 1.5 tons, and then you have a turning circle of 12.4 meters. So what do you get and what do you not get? You don't get a performance SUV, and you do not get the longest high super range SUV. However, considering what you pay for this SUV, as I said, 50,000 euros is the German entry price, and for the German market, that's reasonable price indeed. And still, the battery size is, quite right-sized for this kind of SUV, yes, in comparison to the competitors. And the exterior looks stunning, the interior is also stunning, the interior build quality is really amazing. Yeah, I'm a fan of classic instruments, but then again, the head-up display helps just to have everything in your line of sight. And this really has a great luxury interior with super comfort, both on the front and on the rear seats, and also more than enough space on the interior. So if you can live with not having the best performance, and if you're not focusing on have to drive 600 kilometers without stopping per day, then this is really something for you. The quick charging capabilities are also actually quite fine. So this is a stunning price performance offer, and definitely could be a very hot competitor to a Tesla Model Y. And I think if you look at the all-new Mazda CX-5, and then you look at this one here, clearly with this here, with the CX-6e, you get more money, more car, you clearly get more car for the money. That's what I wanted to say in comparison to the combustion engine CX-5. The only thing is, of course, do you have the charging infrastructure? Can you charge at home? Because I always say, if you cannot charge at home yet, then maybe an electric vehicle is not the best proposition for you, But if you have the possibility, this is maybe also a good entry, or maybe a good switching opportunity then for so far CX-5 customers. What do you think? Is it good for CX-5 customers to switch to EV? Is it a viable competitor to the Tesla Model Y? Tell me in the comments. And now check out the Mazda 6e, the sedan brother, or maybe is it still time for the best-selling SUV still in the EV segment, Tesla Model Y? Would you rather go for the Tesla? Tell me in the comments and check out the other video.